started talking about God as love, and we look at the triune God within the Trinity. And within that triune God, we see this communion, or this community of persons, Father, Son, and Spirit, where there is a complete giving and receiving of love. And so we are created, God creates us as male and female, and he stamps within our bodies this call to be a gift to each other. And we are called then to reflect how God loves in the Trinity. And these demands of love are already written within our hearts. It's something that, is already there. We don't have to learn it. It's just part of, who we are as human beings. And so this call of complete self-donation, when man and woman come together and give themselves as a gift to the other, allows us then to have an understanding of God who is invisible. So basically, marital love makes visible what is invisible, which is God. So God creates sex for this reason, and it is sacred and it is holy. And so much so that God actually puts a boundary around it, and we call that boundary marriage. So marriage is a really big deal. And this is why the church works so hard at protecting marriage. And it's within marriage that the sexual gift of man and woman to each other in the marital act can only be expressed as a reflection of God's love accurately. Anytime it takes place outside of that context, then it's a misuse of the gift of sexuality, the misuse of God's plan for sexuality. And so we look at the marriage covenant as that protection, that wrapper around which the sexual union can reflect how God loves freely, totally, faithfully, and fruitfully.
And I think it's really cool because from the very beginning of a marriage, you have the vows, and that really sets the stage. And so in the vows, we see free, total, faithful, and fruitful.
Yes.
So can you explain where exactly those play out in the
Certainly.
vows?
Yes. In a Catholic wedding, the vows that take place are consistent. And I think in most marriage ceremonies, you're always going to be talking about consent and commitment and those things. But we do actually see in the Catholic vows the free, total, faithful, fruitful. So when a couple comes before God and the minister of the marriage, whether it's a priest or a deacon, they're going to be asked some questions. And the first one would be, have you come here freely without reservation? So that's your free. To give yourselves to each other in marriage. That's total. Will you love and honor each other as man and wife for the rest of your life? Faithful. And will you accept children lovingly from God and bring them up according to the law of Christ and his church? Fruitful. So we do see that actually in the marriage vows. And I remember when I was first learning about theology of the body and free, total, faithful, fruitful, and I was at a wedding and I heard the vows, and a light bulb went off because I didn't know it. I thought, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. Nobody ever explained that to my husband and myself when we were doing our marriage prep or anything like that. It's really beautiful. And within marriage, husband and wife receive a sacrament, the sacrament of marriage, but they also become a type of sacrament because a sacrament is an outward sign that gives grace. And so what this couple is doing by being married to each other, and then actually when they become one flesh, that is an experience where they're actually making, again, visible the invisible, which is how God loves.